I'm Gabriel Ritchie.
I'm Jeremiah McConan.
Welcome to a very special episode of the Ritchie and Mecco Connection Sweep Edition. Jay, no housekeeping today.
None.
Question that I want to ask you, and I know we need to focus on the Celtics. We do.
Mhm.
People aren't focusing enough on how well they have played.
I
Maybe in the
agree.
city and the local media, but not
National, no
nationwide. It's
way.
all about the Nets
Yeah,
and their failures
100%.
and whatnot. But I have to ask you, just because we've had this is one of the things we've disagreed on. People say we disagree on. We don't disagree enough. You thought
Mm.
Kyrie is top 75. We've argued about it. He did nothing for his case in the past in this first round.
Mm.
Well, is he still top 75 for you? Because by your, I guess he still should be, right? Because you're judging him off his talent.
Yeah, I would say honestly, he definitely hurt his case after this series for sure.
But
Like he's
it's the
probably
same
still,
guy. This is on. This is
yeah,
on par.
I know
This is
this
in
is six
character.
years now, low key. I would say like he's still within that fringe group of. I would still think of him when I think of like Clay, Dwight Howard, those guys.
Hmm.
But at least I could say now I for sure can't say he's stamped top 75. Whereas I guess part of me thought maybe he was, I mean, I'm foolish to probably think this, that he was gonna, this was finally gonna be the year it clicked for him. You know, he had KD and he was gonna get it together, but then I mean, we could the Nets. I mean, it was just a disaster waiting to happen. Season
We'll get
started.
to it
Yeah,
all. Yeah.
we'll get to it all. But like, I thought that he had a run in him, and I was very, very wrong, very wrong. So yeah, he's definitely not like as firm in the top 75 to answer your question. But I would still say, like, when I
All I'm
think
gonna
of those
say,
other fringe guys, I would say he's up there with them.
Dame would have showed up for this series.
Mm,
Because I can point to a million things with Kyrie. Dame, you point to New Orleans when they got swept by AD and Cousins. That was an ugly
mm.
look. He's never been that bad in a round one series besides that. And Kyrie is just like, there's no playoff resume outside of 2016. There's just not.
Yeah,
Or there's no huge moment. Like, he was amazing in the 2016 finals. And outside of that, it's really just like, oh, whatever. And then since Cleveland, nothing. Just nothing.
yeah, for sure.
Um, Fair to
And it's
say Harden was the best of the big three in Brooklyn. No,
no,
I'm just kidding. Now I'm just fucking with
absolutely,
you. Now
absolutely
I'm just
not.
fucking with you. He's
No,
not out of the
the
woods yet,
thing.
but yeah.
Oh yeah, well, he's definitely, yeah. He's not safe either, man. Like you said, bro. Everyone's catching it today. But nah,
That'll be my later our quick tease, our first episode of our first segment of what did I even call it?
walking into the
Yeah,
ocean is
something about
that?
what. Is it time to walk into the ocean? That's what
Yeah,
we'll call it.
yeah.
But you can continue.
All right, but I was gonna say with Kyrie, you know what the bizarre thing was? It looked like after game one, okay, he was phenomenal game
He was
one.
great in game one.
He's capable of doing that on random nights. We know that by now. But after that, he completely checked out the series.
Checked out and got locked up.
Yeah,
And got locked up. Mr. Oh, he's the most skilled, blah, blah, blah. They stayed in front of him. They
yeah.
did stuff to irritate him just like they did to KD. And unlike KD, he wasn't
Mhm.
getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, for sure. I would say with Kyrie, I think it was less of a focus on him. I thought there was. You're right. Overall, the Celtics defense, we already know that was a historic performance. Those 4 games, what they did. But I would say with Kyrie though, there was opportunities. I feel like where obviously the game plan was where just everything is going at KD. That is our primary focus to take him
Yes.
out. And Kyrie had, like, you're right, Celtics definitely locked him up for the most part, but he had some opportunities where he could have went one-on-one. Like I remember Van Gundy pointed this out. I think it was game 3 or game 2 or game 3, but he was saying how when Kyrie is usually one-on-one and KD's to the left or right of him, like that's the Nets' best offense because if they sag off KD, which they normally did, and Kyrie would have a one-on-one and he could kind of work, which is like kind of where he like excels. But there was moments where he just was not interested in taking advantage of Praying Pritchard at times, who was out there. Like the way he was disinterested in that series, if you're a Nets fan, and I'm just rolling with KD, so I'm not too butthurt about what happened. But if you're like a real Nets fan, like the way he was uninterested in that series, I don't like. I would be so concerned because this is a guy who's He's due for a max game. I think it's
And he wants.
was it
Sounds like he
4
wants to.
years,
Not
two
only
hundred
does he want
fifty
to
mil?
stay, not only does he want to
Oh yeah,
stay,
he's
but he
the
wants to own
quote.
the team, uh, along with Joe
How
and
ridiculous was that?
along with Joe and Sean and KD. They're all
Like
gonna be
Kyrie,
owners or whatever the fuck he said.
man, how about before thinking about managing and owning the team, how about playing for the team? I
Play
think that would be a
60
good
games.
start.
Give me like
Yeah.
55. Give me enough that we would even
Yeah,
partially consider you for All NBA.
right.
Just
And
once.
obviously this year, like the vaccine thing, it got weird towards the end. But you brought this up one time, I remember when we were talking. It's a good point. Like, if it wasn't the vaccine thing with Kyrie, it would have been something
It
else.
would have been something else. Absolutely.
And that's kind of been the story of his career
Which
since
has been the jokes.
the 2016
Now
finals.
that he's out of the playoffs, he can get back to being a civil servant or whatever
Oh
the fuck
yeah,
people
no.
are saying. Like he can go find his next causes. No, he'll wait until the season starts to go do that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All
That's
of you
yeah.
people, Kyrie, they lift the mandate. He's
Mhm.
free to play all the games. Kyrie won. Nets have the Nets are going to be a dark horse 7 seed. Don't worry. Now he can play all the games. Everybody's going to be clicking. Simmons is coming back. Kyrie won. Kyrie got his way. But y'all were tripping. What's up? Is this him winning? They just got swept. A
I bet you
massive blemish
Kyrie.
on his boy KD's. This is a blemish on KD. By the way, and we'll get to KD.
Mm.
And I'm not going to be a KD apologist like Bill was on that pod. But here's one thing I'll say. Every
Okay.
star has had rough series, There's across the board. Bird, everybody has a series that people will forget way down the line where they just
Uh-huh.
got destroyed. Kobe, everybody.
Yeah.
But that being said, this is a massive blemish on Durant's. I know
Yeah.
the Celtics play great defense. Just getting swept in round one as a
Yeah,
7 seed
exactly.
when
I
you're
was just about to
supposedly
say
supposed
that.
to be the best player in the NBA, that just
Yeah,
doesn't fly. I don't care who you're up against in the
that's a
first
fact.
round.
Yeah,
Um,
the sweep is like, okay, come on.
yeah, and this had to, in a lot of the reason they got swept, and I still think the Celtics would, like they said at the end of the game, the Celtics were the better team. I don't even know if the Nets played together all year with this roster and whatnot. If you're gonna guard KD like that, I don't know. I don't know what. I don't think they would have gotten swept, but I don't see a world where the Celtics team. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I can't see anybody beating them. So that's why I'm saying I don't see them losing to a Nets in any the Nets in any scenario. That being
Mm,
said, Kyrie certainly didn't help this year. He certainly didn't win this year by his actions. Say what you want, and the rule was weird. It was a weird rule. I'll give him that. That being
yeah.
said, it just get fucking vaccinated, and this all would have been avoidable, and you wouldn't. We haven't turned into us vaccinated people have not turned into lizards, but that's another topic. He's
Yeah,
just
nah.
not. That's not. It's just not acceptable. Like Rosolo said, and now I've name dropped them both, but bad business partner, right? Like yeah, it's a
Hmm.
business. Oh, look at Kyrie, he's so cool. He treats it as a day job. He treats it like we all treat our job. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
No, you have teammates you rely on that rely on you, and you completely didn't show up for them. Like you said, I say he got locked up, but I also agree that there were times where he was passive and disinterested. And
Hmm.
I was saying, I was watching the game 4 of my uncle. In the first quarter, it was evident. I was like, Kyrie couldn't be bothered right now. He
Yeah,
just does not
that's
give
the
a
thing. He doesn't care, bro.
yeah. He just doesn't care. That and he's out of it mentally or whatever. So that's all I have to say about Kyrie. You people, you're the defenders out there. You're gonna come back next year. You're gonna say, just wait. Think about how good it will look when they're all clicking. It's never gonna happen with him.
Yeah.
He's always gonna find a way to disappear when it matters most. Outside of 2016, when he was playing with the second greatest player of all time. Uh,
If you're the Nets, are you giving him that max? Like, actually.
we're gonna spend some time on the Nets because that's a good question. I guess that could lead into the next thing I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Uh, I wouldn't, but does KD stay if you don't pay his boy?
That's the thing.
He's a terrible judge of character, which is something we've said on this pod before. He's just a bad judge of character.
Yeah, I
He's a
mean,
bad judge of, and I think he's a really articulate guy. I love him on Twitter. I love that
mhm.
he clapped back immediately on Charles with the Houston Rockets picture when
Big
Charles was giving him
homies.
shit for that ride. And I love, I love the TNT guys. I do,
Of
every
course,
single one of
yeah.
them, and I really, especially Chuck. But that was just a stupid fucking take. That bus riders shit. It's like, dude,
That was so dumb.
you can't, you just shouldn't talk like that when you haven't won a ring. I don't
Chuck
care
gets
if you're a
weird
best player.
sometimes. Yeah.
And he's a good sport about not having a ring too. So I
Mhm.
don't want to like destroy. I love Chuck. It's just a bad take, and it shouldn't be coming from you. The only person on that set who could really make that take is Shaq.
Yeah.
Got the rings, and he was the bus driver. It's Chuck was just. It's just like, oh, he just sounded salty about guys who were on really good teams who won championships that
Hmm.
weren't like superstars.
Facts.
Um, but like I said, it's a blemish on KD's career. I'm sorry. I wouldn't sign Kyrie. I
Mhm.
wouldn't. But then you have to deal with the KD shit, and it's all a mess.
Right.
What would you do?
I mean, I don't know. I guess that's partly why I asked the question because, like you said, if KD wants him, like if that's who he wants to roll with, which it seems like that's what it's all indications point towards that, then you have to sign him if you're Brooklyn because KD just signed him to a long term deal the past off season. So it's tough, man. This is kind of what y'all hitched their wagon to, and they're gonna have to live with it. And then the whole Simmons thing, we didn't even talk about
Well,
that.
that's what I'm saying. We're gonna be on the Nets for a while because we have to talk about Simmons. We have to talk
Yeah,
about
and
everything. We have
even
to talk about
Nash,
Nash. We have
who's
to talk about
probably not
Nash,
gonna be there.
which is weird. It's
It's a big mess, bro. It's that whole team is a mess. And honestly, it's crazy because you're right. We like people should never have thought they had a chance against the Celtics in this series because
I had the
even the
Celtics in
way
6. Nobody thought it would be this bad.
I didn't,
Nobody,
yeah,
none
that's
of the
true.
other series has even been. Was the quickest series. None of the other series are well. Now the Heat have closed out the Hawks, but before that, nobody had
Yeah.
even finished up. No other team got swept.
Yeah,
No,
everyone was in it.
I've been talking about, and I stand by it. This is the most competitive the league has ever been, and I think the playoffs are showing that right now.
Hmm.
Uh, but nobody would have thought that it would be this bad. But
No one,
I had
bro.
the Celtics in 6. I did.
Yeah. And I definitely didn't think it would be this bad because I thought it was going seven, especially after that game 1-2. It felt
Look,
like
let's not
it was
even
gonna
bring up. Let's not even ask T, who had the Nets in 5.
that's a
Sorry,
five.
T.
Yeah, not looking good for that pick. But just when you think about the way the Nets ended the season where they're in battles with the Knicks, being down 20, coming back, barely beating
Right,
Houston, losing
right.
to Detroit, Charlotte. Like the way they ended that year was low-key a mess. So I guess obviously now we have the luxury of looking back and judging everything. But when I think about it, it's like, man, that
But we
team was
said
just a
this.
mess
I
stumbling
was
into the
saying this, and a
playoffs.
lot of other people were saying this leading up. Like, why are these teams ducking the Nets? They aren't playing
Yeah.
well right now. They're
They
not like on a
literally
fifth. They're not on like a 10 game tear right now. Like they're
have no
a fucking
identity, bro.
mediocre looking team. But you never know with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. That's the only reason. But
Well, the league is too
obviously,
talented for that now. You can't
right.
like there's way guys are way come on, like,
And the
like
Celtics are probably
Tatum.
their worst matchup.
Yeah. Well, I'll save my thoughts on Tatum
I
for when
was
we
gonna
do the
say we're
Celtics.
getting
Yeah.
we'll get to
Yeah.
Tatum.
Yeah. Let me
We'll
leave
get to
some.
Tatum. Uh,
Do you want to talk about Nash or
he shouldn't be
Simmons?
fired. Nash hasn't even had a chance to coach a fucking basketball team yet.
I
And I'm
agree.
sorry, I'm cussing a lot on this pod, but like
It's all right, man.
this is the most fired up we've been in a while.
Yeah.
No guests today. Me and Jay are just letting loose.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't had a chance to coach a basketball team yet.
Yeah.
Uh, it's like he said, it's they never had a chance to like get going. It's always a different lineup. You have the Kyrie situation, you have the Ben Simmons situation, you have
Harden.
the Harden situation. He never had a chance.
It's
Um,
crazy.
that being said, Kenny Atkinson never really had a chance to get the team that he really built going as well. When
Yeah.
KD and Kyrie came up and just threw away everything, which is something I want to say about the Nets.
Hmm.
And it's been said since, I think, which sucks because I was thinking it like during game 2,
Yeah.
before I even knew that the series would be a sweep. It's like, yeah, you can have all the talent, but this the foundation wins out. Golden State with Kevin Durant, that be whatever. They had a foundation beforehand. LeBron, at least when he went back to Cleveland and won, there was a foundation there because he was like Cleveland's son. There's some connection. It wasn't just like, let's all just randomly go here and win.
Yeah.
Toronto with Kawhi, there was a foundation outside of Kawhi.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers is the outlier. The Lakers with LeBron in it, that is an outlier because of the bubble, and it's a Mickey Mouse title. But like, go down the line, all of these teams have some type of outlier as Jeremiah enters the gulag. All of these teams,
Uh-oh.
as long as you can
Can
hear
you?
me.
I can hear you
You
though.
can hear me? All right,
Yeah, I
good.
can
You're
hear
just
you.
like,
Great.
all
Yeah.
right. All of
I'm
these teams have
buffering.
had some type of foundation, and this Nets team with KD and Kyrie had none.
Yeah.
So we can't expect them to win a title.
Yeah.
That's the most
Nah, man,
important thing.
I agree because it's funny because remember I think it was last season before the Harden trade when the Celtics played the Nets came to Boston and it had Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, and then they had Durant and Kyrie with that team, and it was like, oh wow, this kind of looks like scary. And then the Harden trade happened, and then they only played 16 games together. Like it's crazy because the net like Katie and Kyrie they walked like that was the whole reason for them coming was walking into a foundation they talked about they like the culture
It was Cap.
and then the first opportunity they get it was Cap because
They
the first
cleaned
opportunity
house.
they get they trade for Harden and then
Yeah.
Harden
And DeAndre Jordan.
and DeAndre Jordan they
They bring
wanted to
him
play
along,
him
yeah.
over Jared Allen which everyone thought was insane at the
Yeah,
time
at
and
the time, it
looks
was
even more
crazy.
insane looking back. Yeah, I mean, they had the foundation there. They went all in, and this was something I was thinking about, Gabe. I wanted to ask you because the Nets essentially they had what the Celtics had in the two
They did.
superstars, and then good role
Mm-hmm.
players that were eventually going to be worth some money, but you had them at good money for the time being, so it worked. And it's what the Celtics have now. If you're a manager or GM or owner or whatever, like, are you would you go that approach with the two superstars and the role players, or would you go with the three superstars with just having if one gets injured, you
Three
have
superstar.
insurance
Yeah.
on that,
Right. Putting
and
all your
then
eggs in one
the
basket,
the rest
sort
of the
of.
roster is just minimum, vet
Yeah.
minimums and
Right.
shit like that. What approach would you take? Like, what do you think is better? Because I was thinking about it. At first I thought the answer was obvious, and I was like, oh, I don't know actually. What do you
It's
think?
you need in the playoffs, especially the way guys get hurt these days. You need
Mm.
that 3 through 9 in the rotation to win a title, I think. And it's funny.
Yeah.
I just brought up a bunch of foundation shit. I'd even mentioned Milwaukee, which is the biggest
Oh
case of this.
yeah,
Which I love.
they won.
I love Giannis staying getting criticized and winning immediately, and then this Nets team that
Mhm.
just buys in, uh, just crumbling. Just they're never gonna see any playoff success. Just like Philly probably with the Harden shit, because it's Harden. Uh, and yeah, I would definitely go to superstars. It's hard. I mean, there are cases where
And
the
then at
third
the
guy is usually like a fringe star and
kind of like Milwaukee, I guess.
sort of with like Drew and Chris
Yeah,
Middleton, where they're not superstars, but it's like Giannis, then two really good
all
guys,
stars.
and then
Yeah.
solid role players. But
Right.
I think I think it all depends on the situation. Like the Nets looked really good when everybody was healthy last year. But we
I mean,
didn't.
when they had all three guys, it was it
Yeah,
was historic.
it's such a
But
small.
that's the
It's
thing.
a historic kind of. It's such a small sample size. It's like I can't even judge it. I can only judge like this whole that I've seen, and it's not good.
The thing is, it was
I
just
could judge
not a
it for what it
safe bet.
was,
Yeah. And it was never going to be a safe bet.
which is
That's
what
why
we
with
said.
so I kind of so I kind of agree with you in a way because I think the two superstar death thing, the two superstars with the and the roster like the Celtics guy now, I think that's the better way to go. But like at the same time, it depends on the situation because if you have three guys who are just they could just create their own like like in an ideal world, if you had Kyrie 72 games, Durant, and then Harden, which obviously not possible, but like if you have that ceiling is way higher than a two superstar with the depth. But it's just so risky. So I don't know, man. It was just something I was thinking about. I wonder if teams are gonna, if like another team will try doing that, or if that's gonna be dead going forward. But yeah,
We'll
man, I just
see.
wanted to know what your thoughts were.
I mean, I'm all
Wanted to
about yeah. I'm all about the
what's up?
foundation too. Like I
Yeah.
mentioned, we've mentioned with football, like the
Phoenix,
Dan
another
Campbell
one
approach.
foundation. Mhm.
What's up? Can you hear me?
I was saying Phoenix is another foundation one.
Yeah,
Low
yeah.
key, like Chris Paul
Phoenix,
coming to
right.
the foundation.
Yeah, you're always gonna need to add a piece just
Hmm.
to shake it up a bit. Like you're not. I mean, that's pro sports. No team is net. You're never gonna have the same 15-man roster every year. But
Right.
yeah, like I said with Dan Campbell and the Lions, like I just like that approach opposed to I don't know who else to compare it to. The Jaguars just losing every year until they get like the number one pick. Eventually, I think just instilling little pieces of winning culture in your franchise and believing in the guys and not just like having the three guys and then everybody else is expendable.
Right.
Us and everybody else. It's all of us. Which is kind of what Antonio Daniels on that pod when he was talking about Willie Green, and he's
Mm.
been in, and this is sort of a different topic, but like the Willie Green, the coach of the Pelicans, he's been at some point in his career, he's been the best player on his team. He's been the last man on the bench. He's been a role player. Like he can relate to every guy on that team, and
Yeah.
some of these teams, it's like okay, you have the three guys. One guy might have been there the whole time, and then it's two hired guns, and it's a bunch of mercenaries.
Hmm.
And that just doesn't really work. Because some of the teams we look at like that, it's just not, that really wasn't the case. Like the 2017 Warriors, arguably the greatest team of all time, it wasn't just a bunch of hired guns.
Yeah, it was a guy coming too.
Right.
Like,
Those Miami Heat teams, like the 4 year run they had, like they were all together. That was the role players were there for the whole 4 year run.
Miami's a great example too, because remember that first year, they kind of were a hired gun
They were
situation
a
just
hired
because it
gun
was the
situation.
first
It didn't
year.
work.
And we saw what happened. Yeah, they had a complete meltdown. But then you saw they started developing the continuity. They started figuring out which guys, like they figured that they had an identity going forward. And then with that came the championship. So yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my thing on Nash,
Mm,
in the Nets and all of that. But I want to
I'll
ask you
just,
before we get to Ben Simmons, we can finish off the Nets with Ben Simmons.
yeah,
Just give me you're the biggest KD guy out there. Just how do you feel right now? How do you feel about
I'm
KD's
glad you asked.
legacy?
Yeah,
Just let it all out.
no, I'm glad you asked. Legacy wise, that doesn't take a hit. He doesn't drop on my all time list. I thought there was an opportunity for him to raise his legacy had he just kind of did what he did against Milwaukee and maybe lost to this potentially historic great Celtics team, but
Right.
went out competing. Since he didn't, there was games like the game two and that fourth quarter where he went 0 for 10. Game three, he only took 16 shots. When he having games like that, like
Yeah.
there's no way I'm gonna boost your legacy. But he's done so much where I'm not gonna say, yeah, that's a drop either.
One series
Um,
can't kill a guy. One series can
yeah,
ruin a guy's legacy.
like you said earlier, all these great guys have had a series where it's just like, yikes, this guy does not look like the dude we usually watch.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man, I think that was just a great game plan against him.
Yeah.
Like the one thing you can kind of get with KD is since he's so slight in frame, you could get physical with him.
Hmm.
You saw the Celtics were all over that.
Right.
I thought at times though, the decision making was a little bit bad. Like he
Right.
was trying to force
Sloppy.
stuff. Yeah, which kind of shows this hurts me to say, but it shows an appreciation for LeBron because
Yes. Yes.
he
Eh, eh,
he wasn't gonna. It's not like LeBron was gonna crave up the Celtics team, but his
He
ability
would have
to
still
create
lost.
for other, yeah, he would have for sure still lost. I'm
Yeah.
talking about not even this LeBron. This LeBron's gonna sweat. I'm talking like 33-year-old
You
LeBron on
think this
Cleveland
LeBron's getting swept? You don't think he comes up with something?
with
You
with
might
that
be right.
Lakers team.
You might no,
That's
swap him and put him on the Nets.
or swap LeBron and put him on the. They might honestly. They might. I'll give him one. No bullshit. I'll give
Here's
him
what I'll
one.
say, Jay.
Yeah.
You know I like KD. He missed a lot of open shots too. That game 4, he was just missing open
Yeah.
threes that he would have always made. It wasn't even the defense. It was the prior defense that probably got in his head, but it was wide open
For
shots
sure.
that he would have always made, and he wasn't. and he's one of the greatest shooters of all time. I feel
Yeah.
like LeBron, despite being a worse shooter, is making those shots. As we've seen, the goofy three that's like there's no way that goes in, and then he
Uh,
hits it. It's
yeah.
like some shooters.
LeBron's clutch. No
There's
bullshit. He's
great
clutch.
shooters, and then there's guys who become shooters when it's time to be great.
Right.
And
Yeah.
LeBron is
Well
the
said.
epitome of that to me.
Yeah. Now you're right. He definitely missed a lot of open looks. I thought the game two second half was more jarring. Game three, I was like, whatever. He's
Yeah.
emptying the clip. He's probably exhausted. Because all right, now let me defend my guy a little bit here. I know you're not bashing him, but like there's others out there that are actually like, oh, KD's done.
Well,
This and that.
The LeBron fanboys.
Yeah, LeBron Media Mafia. Let me say this about KD real quick. Before he got injured this season, the Nets were a 1 seed. This was with Harden being out of shape, which if you watched the Nets game, you knew 5 games into the season, Houston Harden was long gone. Obviously, no Kyrie. They didn't really know who they was playing LaMarcus, Blake, Claxton. They were rotating so much guys. And KD, I think it was through 30 something games, had them at the 1 seed. He was probably co-MVP with Steph Curry at that time. Then the injury happened, and then Kyrie gets brought back. Harden doesn't like the relationship that's going on there. It all blows up after that. But like KD this season, like I won't say this season, like I can never say that this season was something that should peg him down legacy wise, because he carried them all regular season and then playoffs. I think I saw a stat he had played like 500 minutes since March before the series started, just because they had to try to win all those games. Because remember they were at 10 seed at one
That would
point.
have been ugly if they missed the playoffs.
Yeah, so KD's definitely not the guy. Obviously, he's my guy for life, but I'm speaking like KD. I got his number, my guy for life. But now he knows what it is. But uh, like I can't point much blame towards him. Just like I can't towards Nash. It starts with Kyrie, Harden, I guess in a way KD because with the management, but like as far as on the court production, nah, man, he
No, he
did
was
what he
second
could.
team All NBA. He would have been
Yeah,
first if he played all the games. But I'm
but he
not
was
gonna
bad.
blame him. But I'm also gonna say they're like a guy like LeBron
Mm-hmm.
would have had a bigger impact on this series, which is why I have KD 10 through 12 ish range, 10 through 13 range on my all
All
time
time.
list.
Yeah,
And
same.
I like I said, everybody's had a bad series, but at this point in your career, none of the guys, Jordan, um, LeBron, Kareem, Russell, Magic, Bird, Duncan, they're just not going out like that. They're not going out like that. And he went out. He had 35 points the other night, right?
Yeah, I'll say yeah.
And he
They
got
won't
to the line.
like
His shot
that.
wasn't falling. He got to the line. Like I respect it.
Yeah,
He still played pretty well, just by all time.
KD
Oh my God,
standards.
this guy's a basketball god standards. No, he didn't play very well.
Yeah, he was very human
The
in those
high
standards.
bar we hold him to. That's
Mm-hmm.
the only slander, if you want to call it. That's the only slander I'll bring to KD. Otherwise, it's not his fault they lost. It's the Kyrie situation, and it's. Should we talk about him now? What do we even say?
Uh,
The
Ben
the
10.
fashion, the fashion guru, Ben 10.
Yeah, no, no, I like your point on KD there. One thing I'll add, and then we can just jump into the Ben 10
One thing
shit.
I'll add is
Is
he's the greatest player of all time. You're
he's
fucking stupid. Jeremiah just
he's
logs off.
daddy. No, I would say like, and actually, it's to add to your point, to be honest, because those guys haven't had those type of like they haven't went out like that. All those greats at that stage of their career, because like Braun went out like that against the Mavericks. Braun went out worse, honestly, against the Mavericks, but
But that
he
was
was
year one of
26.
like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
and he
Like at
wasn't
that stage,
LeBron just yet.
yeah,
He wasn't that.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why it's fair when you think about it, big picture. Why KD's probably 12, because those other 11 guys at that stage definitely didn't go out like that. So I'm with you on that. Simmons, I mean, where do we even start with this guy, bro? Where do we actually even start with him?
Here's what I'll say: the mental health, we respect it and everything, but
For sure.
when it comes to you being a professional athlete and being part of the job, is being mentally tough. And the chest pumping he's done in the past, and the crying about not getting this award and that award, and this and that. Uh, it's just you should have just bit the bullet. You should have just like Nick Claxton is not going to. He just had like a absolute meltdown at the free throw line. He's not going to
Egregious.
go just disappear now.
Yeah.
He's going to work on his game. He's going to come back. He's still not going to be a great. Maybe he will be. He's still not going to be a great free throw shooter.
Maybe he'll be like 2% better, but
He's not
still.
going to run from it though. And
Yeah,
this guy,
exactly.
the longer he's run from it, the worse it's become. And I think what I said to you, I might have said this to you the other day. It's like I don't care if Ben Simmons if he played in this series and
Hmm.
absolutely sucked, like played the worst basketball ever. I still would have had so much more respect for him than I do the fact that he doesn't play and he's talking about his back sore and it's from my anxiety and blah blah blah. It's like, dude, you're in the NBA and you don't seem like a very anxious person when you walk out there and dressed like that on the like looking for like it almost is like he wants the attention but then he doesn't.
Hmm.
It's just weird. And dude, just take your beating when it comes to people intentionally following you and all that shit that's gonna come eventually. I will say I was right. I said there's no way we see Ben Simmons in this series. I was like I don't think we're gonna see Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Because why would we? Why would we? He hasn't played all year. They're not gonna throw him into the fire now. It's the fact that they acted like they did. And then the Celtics are like, "Oh, you're gonna play Ben Simmons. You might. You're targeting a return. Here's Rob Williams. No fucking
The game before,
Yeah, here. He's playing tonight.
3 weeks after a
Uh,
meniscus tear.
yeah. And Rob looked pretty damn good.
Hmm.
For a guy coming off that injury. But
Sure
it's
did.
just it's annoying, and I've been over it. But
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on this? Enlighten me.
No, I think you nailed it. I'll definitely start by saying we are definitely sympathetic towards mental health. Like that's a real thing. And it's great that there's obviously more attention being brought to it now. But like you said, you say mental health here, but then I'm sure you saw this video. I think it was after game 1 or game 2, they had a practice and he's talking about, hey, look over here or catch this and does a
Yeah.
dunk. And it's like, yeah, it's funny, people on Twitter are gonna laugh on it, but that's like when you really look at that, like that's weird behavior. Like you said, it's like he wants to behave, like he wants the attention, and then when he gets the attention, he starts moving a different way. The out sun shit, like wearing sunglasses during the games, these outlandish outfits. Like I know this is all it's memes, it's funny and shit, but it kind of tells me there's something else going on with this guy. And then, of course, the other day, the Shams thing, like you mentioned, with the back thing being related to
Right.
nerve issue that's caused by stress and how that's it. But it's like, man, like what is it gonna take for him to get over it? Like, what is it gonna take
Right.
to bring him back on the court if he was
He didn't want to play
the
in
last time he
Philly.
played was
He
a
got his
year?
way. He got his way. He got out of
Mm-hmm.
Philly. He got into a
Well,
pretty damn good situation. They didn't send him to Sacramento. They didn't
the
send him to
greatest
OKC.
situation.
He went to
Yeah.
play with one of the greatest players of all time and one of the most gifted players of all time, and he fucking sat out
Yeah.
the season anyways.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he got out of Philly, but what the hell were you doing for the 9 months when you already decided you weren't going to play for Philly?
Right.
Like if you wanted to get out of Philly, then you should be preparing yourself and getting yourself in the best possible shape mentally and physically. Because as much as mental health is daunting at times, like you still have to do your role in trying to improve it and get yourself to position to function in this world. Like you can't just say, oh, whatever, mental health, I'm done. Like I checked out completely. With that being said, like you had 9 months, bro, to get all that shit together. And then we forgot to even mention now he's asking for the money back, which is nuts. Uh, this guy, I texted you this, Gabe. He's probably one of the
He's
biggest
an enigma,
enigmas in
yeah.
sports, bro. Like
Yeah.
he's so weird. And then it's crazy because we say all of this, and then you think about what this guy could be on the court, and it could be he potentially could be an all timer if it all works out for him well. Like he
Talent
has the
wise,
tools.
yeah.
He's 6'10. He's 6'10. He comes down the court like Braun. The shot thing, like it looks like he has the mechanics. It's just a mental thing. Like this dude has all the tools, bro, which makes it so much more sadder that this is how it's getting played out. I asked you this shit with Kyrie. I gotta ask you with Simmons. If you're Brooklyn, are you keeping him or are you looking to move him?
This is a special case, Jay.
It
This isn't.
is.
This isn't even like Zion. This isn't
No, this is different.
anything Kawhi's done. This is like very special. I would move him. This guy is not a winning guy. He might
Yeah,
never be.
I agree.
You know,
I think you
I'd
have to
rather
move
keep
it, bro.
Kyrie.
Honestly, yeah, which is insane to think about.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know what Simmons is like. Really don't know. You don't know what Kyrie, but to think this, and they're on the same team. Like, yo,
It's
KD,
crazy.
man,
Yeah, it's crazy.
come on, bro. You really put your fans in this position, man. Got me sick, man. Gotta make some calls to 35 inches, but yeah, I don't know, man. Can we wrap up the
We
Nets
can
talk?
wrap
At
up the
like,
Nets talk. Here's how I'll wrap up the Nets
what a
talk and
dumpster
transition into the
fire.
Celtics. Scott
Yeah, bro.
Foster
Listen,
totally tried to fix that game.
that game
That
four,
was a
yes,
fucking
for
screw
sure.
job that they escaped.
It's crazy.
I was start low with fucking the Nets come back 3-0. Like, would the NBA
That
really
call
do
on
this?
Tatum, the sixth
Outrageous.
foul, like ridiculous.
Just
The
crazy,
refs,
man.
I don't want to do. I'm not about to go on a ref run, but a ref rant. But the refs have been bad these playoffs, man. I feel like they've just been inconsistent as fuck with their calls. Like they call it one way, one game, and then the next game is called completely differently. It's like, bro, you kind of don't blame the players sometimes in that situation. But yeah, go ahead.
All right. Do you want to talk to Celtics?
Let's talk Celtics.
Here's what I'll say off the bat. I gave Tatum. I want to apologize to the Celtics as a whole. I've been very harsh to them, warranted at times. Uh, I was judging what I saw. I want to apologize to Jason Tatum. I never said he sucked or anything, but this is special. This is some of the best basketball I've seen anybody play in a long time. You
Yes.
shouldn't be able to drop this many points while also guarding one of the best players of all time at the same in like locking him up. It's fucking insane. He's playing out of his mind. And you saw the way they kind of like freaked out when he fouled out the other night. Like
Yeah.
he's so important. He's reason number one why they're winning this series, which is why I mentioned when it's like all net slander. It's like no, the story here is Jason Tatum, and then it's Jaylen
Mhm.
Brown, and then it's everybody else balling too. Because Brown's
Yes.
been amazing too. What I've noticed about Brown is when the Nets go on a run, that's when he's the guy who cuts their run. Like he
Yes.
stops shit. Because he penetrates. He goes to the basket. He gets and ones. He's been great on the defensive end too. Game one, I was saying at the end of that game, Praise smart, but Brown there was some times down the court where Brown also locked up Kyrie. He's been great two ways too. This team is living up to what they and like the Nets are scoring. The Nets had high field goal percentage. It doesn't when you look at the numbers, it wasn't the best defensive series, but eye test wise, like it's like yes, this is the team that everybody's been talking about. This is
Yes.
this is legitimately historic, and I don't see any. But like if they can just stay healthy, I'm banging on
For
one. I'm not
real.
just knocking on one. I'm banging on
Oh
one.
God.
If they can just stay healthy, dude, it's raps. It's raps. Like I like this team versus everybody. Everybody's hitting. Here's what I'll say though: Tatum was red hot. Like this guy's not
Yeah.
missing any. He's hitting ridiculous shots. Who knows when that? Like I think he is hot right. Like he's on fire right now.
Mhm.
But if this is just who he is, then we're looking at an all timer, like a legitimate all time. Again, I want to apologize to him. I didn't think it was even a discussion like him versus Luca.
Mhm.
For me, it was like a discussion like him and Donovan Mitchell. I had him with those guys and
Right.
Trey and all that.
Booker.
This is
Yeah.
like he's ascended.
Yep.
He's ascended,
For sure.
and now it's totally a discussion with Luca. And we had it in our basketball on IG, like a small discussion about Luca versus Tatum. It's like you make good points, like passing wise, Luca's just extremely special. And
Special.
we saw what they did versus Utah the other night, and Luca just came back and he's already like
Yeah.
balling already.
He's insane.
But what Tatum did two ways as a two-way player, defending, like he's twice the defender Luca is, it's just crazy. It's just something we haven't seen in a very long time. It reminds me of Kawhi, but
Yeah,
what I
bro.
like about Tatum, what I've always said, even when I've haven't been the biggest fan is he's durable, and he's much more durable
Yes.
than Kawhi.
Sure.
Uh, I'm in love with this team, and I want to apologize to them again. I wrote an article a year and a half ago saying like the title drought. We're halfway through like a 22-year title drought. There's not much hope, and this and that.
Yeah.
And I just the Kyrie years, the Gordon Hayward shit. Um, the guys there now who just at times like Smart has been a very frustrating player over the past couple of years. Tatum too.
Yeah.
Brown hasn't been able to stay on the court. There was a reason behind my frustrations, but I just want to apologize for like not having enough faith in this team. And I like to own up to I like to own up when I'm wrong, and I was totally wrong about this team. Um, we did say if they just take on this defensive identity things, and that's exactly what they've done. But I didn't know they would do it like this. So I want to
Mhm.
apologize, and props to Ime. Props to everybody from fucking Tatum to Brown, Smart, Williams, Grant Williams, Pritchard showing up when he
Yes.
uh who am I forgetting, Jay? Tice. Tice was
Deuce.
another like getting him back changed everything. It changed the way the team approaches games.
For
Uh
sure.
yeah, man.
It's beautiful, bro. It's so beautiful. That was beautifully said by you. I agree, obviously, with everything, man. Like, it's crazy
Eric
because the
White.
defense, Derek White, like the defense, bro, like that whole what they did, what they were, I'm not gonna go. We're done with the Nets, but the way they guarded KD was just so amazing to
Nobody's
me
ever seen
because
anything like it.
it
Never seen
was,
anything
yeah,
like it.
bro. I've never seen a super. That was the best I've ever seen. A team guard a superstar, like an
Yeah,
all-time superstar, at least that I
yeah,
can remember.
for
Other
sure.
times it's usually meltdowns, but for the most part, it was because of the Celtics defense, why Katie was struggling. And you said Tatum. I remember Tatum. Remember that it was the year, was it the bubble year? What was the season Tatum dropped 40 on the road against the Lakers? Remember that? Was that 2018,
Might have been
2019?
was that 2020, like before the pandemic? I'm not sure.
Or was that before the pandemic? I
Might have
wasn't.
been.
Yeah, it might, honestly, I think you're right. It might have been before the pandemic. But I remember that game, and they was throwing Tatum on AD at times, like down in the fourth quarter. He was like blocking AD, stealing it from him. I was like, yo, what the fuck? This dude Tatum. That was my first time like thinking, like, yo, this dude Tatum could actually be OP like on defense if you took
Yeah,
it serious. But of course, it was the step back tools and the not getting back on defense. Remember how sick we used to be when he would just get
yeah.
quote unquote get
He still
fouled and then
complains a lot. Shout
yeah,
out to Preston
yeah.
mentioning
Which
this
that
thing.
just
He's like,
might
he still
be
do be complaining. I know
that
he's
might
a
just be
star, but
everyone. Yeah. I mean, he didn't get as much respect as I thought he should have in the net series from
oh,
the refs, to be
oh,
honest.
awful
But
calls. Like I said,
yeah,
absolute screw job at the end of that game.
yeah, they hold him.
I said to my uncle in the first quarter, Scott
Mhm.
Foster's officiating. End of this game, Tatum's gonna randomly have 5 fouls with like 5 minutes to go. And
That's
that's
exactly what
literally
happened.
foul. He fouled out on some bullshit. You can't
Crazy. I
foul
can't
out
believe they
a
fouled
superstar
him
like that.
out. Yeah.
It was an
Five,
absolute highway
okay.
robbery. They were totally trying to
Yeah,
extend that series because it was the most
for sure.
talked about first round series.
That was a money driven decision by the NBA for sure. But yeah, man, Tatum, his ability on defense now is because he makes it. He's 6'10". I mean, one other thing that stood out to
He's
me
massive.
when he was guarding Durant was how big Tatum is. Like he's bigger than Durant, and he's almost just as tall. Like that's what I'm saying. Like the guy's ceiling is crazy, bro. Like what he's done is amazing. He's a top 5 player for me now for sure. Jalen, like you mentioned, it was a lot of times it was Jalen down the stretch, just
Yes.
putting the game away, hitting timely shots.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, he took
Fearless.
his turns on
Absolutely
Kyrie and
fearless.
Durant. He was fearless. Yeah. Grant Williams, who I gotta apologize to Grant because I hated Grant his rookie season, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I thought he was just Semi Ojeleye 2.0.
Yeah.
And like that was just that. But
Well,
he's
they've
like the
said
perfect role player.
this year he went from Semi Ojeleye to, or he went from Yabusele to James Posey this year.
Yo, Yafiselli. Oh man. Shout out Yabusele, bro. But yeah, man, Grant with the corner threes and then his defense. I mean, he was so locked in onto defense even after the whistle blew and
Yes, I
Durant would,
saw that. I
and take
saw
his little
that.
practice shot. Grant's still guarding him.
Right. He just
Like
guarded
he
hands
was
up.
dialed in. Al's been awesome too.
How
Wiz.
did
I
I
mean, how much
forget
times
Al?
did Al hit
How
a
could I
timely
forget
three?
Al?
Yeah,
So
I
clutch. They're
got you.
not where they are
We're
without
a
him
team.
either. They're not where they are
No
without him
way.
either.
Yeah, and then Pritchard. Pritchard, honestly, I thought Pritchard was why we won game two with that little flurry he
That
had in the
extra
fourth quarter when it was
boost.
kind of
Yeah.
the game was teetering, and then Pritchard just goes on an 8-0 run by himself.
Yeah.
Like every guy had an impact. Now Rob's back. Like you said, he already showed great signs in the limited minutes. You're right, Gabe. I don't see another team beating them if they stay healthy.
Yeah.
Knock on wood again if they stay healthy. But this team is awesome, bro. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah. And a major part of that is, my opinion, the coach of the year, Ime Udoka,
For sure.
who I always liked his presence, but you're really seeing like his teachings come into play right now. Like there is
Yeah.
some of his DNA out there on the court because it wasn't like this. And I do think Brad Stevens is an excellent basketball mind and a really good coach.
Oh yeah,
But
for sure.
it was time for a change. And
Mm-hmm.
he shares part of this success too as a GM.
And so does
So
Danny,
does Danny
honestly.
Ainge. And so does Danny
Yeah.
Ainge. Absolutely. Who drafted a lot of these guys on the court right now.
Yeah.
But Ime, just the sternness in his presence on the sideline and just everybody's freaking out. Tatum fouls out, and I just see all the guys huddle up with Ime. Like the Nets huddle up, like, oh, this is our chance. That's how it felt.
Right.
And then Ime, when I saw him, I just got really calm watching the game, and I was like, they're gonna
He's so
pull this
composed.
out. Yeah, just very composed. The opposite of what, like, earlier in Simmons is like this frenetic energy on the sideline, just like always standing the whole game. And it's like, I'm cool with that. He kind of reminds me of like that coach that coaches the March Madness team that comes out of nowhere, the 15 seed, like just on the sideline.
Yeah.
Willie Green gives me the same vibe. Just like guys
I
who
love Willie.
have definitely
It's
built a
cool
connection with
guys.
every guy on the team, former
Yeah.
NBA role players. So they've
Mm-hmm.
just been there.
Yeah.
And both
They have the
guys,
respect.
yeah, yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah, man.
Some guy just
Eh,
off topic. Some random dude who I don't even know just messaged me on Facebook, who I've never spoken to in my life. He said, "Cool story, bro."
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like that's the start of the conversation. Him saying cool story, bro.
Oh my god, this is so weird. He's responding to something I said on September 17th, 2010, 10:30
That's
p.m.
insane. Yo, that's
I'm
actually insane.
talking about Dragon Ball Z, and I'm making no sense with the grammar, and he just responded 12 years later. Cool story, bro. This is insane. Yeah, this is weird.
That's actually insane, bro.
That's
You might
great.
want to block
That's
him.
great. Yeah, right.
Just in
Cool
case. I
story, bro. I
maybe
need somewhere to stay.
yeah, right. Like what? Like 12 years later. Oh shit.
But yeah,
Oh man.
back
But
to
yeah,
the Celtics.
Celtics are awesome. This team is awesome. Ime's awesome. It's a joy, bro. It almost feels like it's too good to be true. Like, wow, we really went through it the past 4 years.
They've earned it. They've earned
They've
it.
earned it. They've earned it. They stuck together.
And how about the confidence
Beautiful.
boot? Like also like the big brother, like the Nets were like their big brother, the big bully, and like that's out of the way, which is just
Yeah.
which is like a theme on this pod, like the
They
mental
they
block.
wanted the Nets.
The mental block is gone,
Mm-hmm.
and now I like their chances versus everybody down the line.
Yeah. I mean, remember against Miami in the bubble, bro, how much times they was up in the fourth quarter and they would just blow it
Yeah,
in that Eastern Conference Finals,
yeah,
even against Toronto that series before. Like I think of that team and this team now, and they're just so
polar
different. It's
opposites. Yeah,
so much growth. It's crazy, bro. Like I honestly feel confident in any situation. And we're probably gonna get the Bucks next series. I mean, what team is more equipped to face Giannis than the Celtics?
for sure, for sure.
No other team.
That could be the NBA Finals right there,
Yeah, it just might be.
and I like our chances. But we'll do our
Yes,
picks.
sir.
We'll do our picks on the next pod.
Yeah.
Or we'll put some pod out before that series starts.
Maybe do round 2 or
Actually, let's do it
3.
right now.
We'll
Let's do it
figure
right now
something out.
because that series starts on
Okay.
Sunday probably.
True. Yeah, for the Celtics Bucks. The Bucks are probably playing right now. I bet you they're smashing Chicago.
Yeah, Caruso was even playing
That's
tonight.
the series. Yeah. 27-49 Milwaukee.
Yeah,
About
it's
to be
gonna be nice.
halftime. That shit's over.
I'm gonna go with Celtics in
Um,
6 again. I'm picking Celtics in 6.
same pick. Celtics in 6.
Okay, sounds good. T's not here
I
to say
could.
T's not here to say Bucks in 4.
I think I would give Giannis too, because that's Giannis and that's a good team. So you got it. That's I don't know, man. That's at least 2 games. But
Right. Yeah, Giannis
we're better.
is probably the best player in the league at this point. Just like
Yeah, he is.
because he's the Terminator. It's like a
So I
LeBron
know.
Shaq mix almost.
Yeah, facts. He's been bet. Yeah, literally. That's exactly what he is. So I know Giannis is top dog. One, because what he does on the court and how we, what we see every night. But two,
Right.
because he has a ring.
Yeah. Where's Tatum?
There's opportunity for Tatum here to take the crown.
I need
I'm
this
not gonna
multiple
lie,
years.
Gabe. It's crazy.
I know
because he's 24. I know
he can definitely be
and
that.
he might.
He's
be
playing like it right now.
bro.
I need this for like 3 straight years before we call him the best player in the league.
I feel you. All right,
As
what
much
if
as I'd love to crown him right now, like you need to do this all the time. And
what
he's
if he
doing it
just
all
goes
the
on
time
a
right now.
bro?
But
What if they
like
win
3
and
more
he's
years
just
of
that
it.
guy? What if they? This is best case scenario, obviously. Wishful thinking, but what if they smash Milwaukee? He's awesome. They smash whoever, probably Miami in the Eastern Conference. He's
And then they
awesome. And then they
smash.
got the Golden State and they smash the Warriors. Like, and he's MVP, like Finals MVP, all that.
Well, then you have to.
He's top 3 at that point, like solidified top 3, I think. Yo, that his
Yeah, I
ceiling is
mean,
scary.
presently speaking, yes, but then who knows what happens in the next few years? I predict he will be
That's
the best
fair.
player in the league, if not top 3 or whatever. I think that will happen, but it's just
Yeah.
not something you can do after one great year, after one superstar year.
Mm-hmm.
Like LeBron, it was like LeBron. It took a while for people to like anoint LeBron completely and like not take the crown off of Kobe's head.
Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see how
But
this plays out.
but it's looking awesome. It's looking
Yeah.
amazing
That
right now. It's
that
really like,
trajectory is just
and they're super fucking fun to watch.
up. They're so fun to watch, bro.
Which is like that
They
you
play with
mentioned
like
that
they play
Miami
so
series,
hard.
the Miami series from a
Yeah.
few years ago. Like I was like, yeah, I guess I'm rooting for the Celtics, but Miami's way funner to watch. Like
Right.
the Celtics, your turn, my turn shit is not fun to watch, and I don't need
I
to watch
hated
it for
that
another
team.
round.
Oh, I hated that team so
Miami, the way they
much.
whip the ball around, the Celtics are just so efficient, and they're a great mix of. There's still a little bit your turn, my turn sometimes at the end of games and whatnot, but like they
Yeah.
can do that now because Tatum's a
Which,
bucket,
yeah,
a legitimate
exactly. And which
bucket.
you kind of want that. You kind of
Want
want
that,
that in the
yeah.
games that
One
someone just
guy
like,
who's taking
yo,
a last
game.
shot,
Yeah,
not like a
exactly.
whole committee, which is what Miami is right now. Where, I've
Could
been
come back
paying
to bite
attention.
them.
I've been paying a lot of attention to the playoffs. I'm watching. I'm at the gym last night. I turned on the end of that Hawks game. I'm like, oh Miami, oh let's see them close it out. And then they cut to
Bro,
the bench, and Jimmy. I did not know that Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry were not playing.
they were, they were so confident
Half
against
their
Atlanta. They were
payroll is just on
resting
the
dudes in a
bench.
series.
Yeah, it
Like,
was just
that's how
crazy.
bad it was. Like, we're just gonna
Um,
rest guys in the playoffs because the series is already over. Yeah, that ending was nuts. Yeah, no, that's a fair point. You're right. Tatum he needs to be sustained, but as far as like just a guy you want, just what he can do on the
right.
court, I think he's really just knocking on the
Yes,
door at
the
this
two-way
point.
play is the
And
two-way
then
stuff
one
is
thing I was
special.
gonna mention, yeah, the two it's special. It's really, and even now the playmaking is there's growth there too. Like
Yes, the passes.
he's
Some of the
making the
passes
reads,
is
he's
like
getting rid of the ball. Yeah,
it's
the all
legit.
around
The
growth. That's
decision
the thing.
making.
Like if the passing is gonna become a thing now it's getting it gets real scary at that
Yes,
point. But
I
another
agree.
thing I was gonna mention with the Celtics game was, remember how they used to be labeled as this soft team,
Yeah,
like just
they're like the toughest team in the
pushovers, and
playoffs.
yeah, and even the beginning of this year, and now exactly now like
Yeah,
like no one want that's a
right.
team you don't want to see in a dark alley. Like
Yeah.
they'll take over your trap
After what they did to
and leave.
KD, it's like people have to be petrified at this point.
Yeah, bro, that's a
You just don't
scary
want to see
team.
that. You just don't want to see that. So yeah, I'm pumping for the
This
first
guy,
time on
this
this
man.
podcast. for the first time in this podcast's history, I'm pumping my chest as a Celtics fan. I was
Yeah.
optimistic about the Brooklyn series. I picked the Celtics. I've
Right.
loved what they've looked like the second half of the year, but now I'm pumping
Hmm.
my chest.
Yeah, I'm
And
with
it's,
you.
I haven't felt this way about a team that I root for since the 2017, 15, 14, those Patriots teams. That's the last time I've been this
Ooh.
confident about a team I love.
Ooh, I love that energy, bro. Yeah, man, this is gonna be a joy to see. I hope we get them in Golden State, us in Golden State. I hope that's the
Oh man,
finals.
if we can go to a parade.
Oh my god, oh fucking salivate. Imagine. All right, let's not get too ahead of
Let's not
ourselves.
get ahead of us
Yo,
because
but
people are
this
gonna
is
play
it.
this. Oh, what happened?
This
What
is
happened?
Middleton is gonna fucking nail. Let me
We
chill,
go.
bro.
We
Let
go
me
again. He's
chill.
hurt. He's hurt right now. He might be back for that series. I'm not sure. He might not
Yeah.
be. He's in 2 to 3 weeks for him. He might miss that whole.
At the time, it
That's the
might
Celtics
have been
killer,
3 to
though.
4 even.
Yeah, so that'll
That's
be
what I'm
huge
saying.
because
Yeah,
that's the Celtics killer.
Milwaukee.
That's the Boston Slayer.
I'm pumping my chest too. I'm with you. I'm so confident in this team, but I know Milwaukee will
It's
lose a
the
fight. They're not
champs.
about to do what Brooklyn just did. It's
Right,
not going
it's
to be
the
the
champs.
same.
The
Yeah,
champs don't go out.
exactly.
The champs don't go outside.
No
Um,
way.
we can move on though.
Yeah. I
Let's
mean, do you want to save some meat on the bone?
So yeah, we're running
Because
pretty
we
long
just did an
here.
hour. We did an
Yeah.
hour on one
So
series,
we can do. Let's
which
do
I'm
the
totally fine
segments.
with.
So these segments that we're
Yes.
gonna do, kind of, they're playoff edition. So we'll talk about these series during these segments. So do you want to do good vibes, bad
Yes.
vibes?
Yeah. Let's do it.
I have two
All
guys
right. Do you
right
want?
now. I could think of another. I don't know how many do you have?
I have three.
Okay, so I'll think of one more, and the two guys I have are from two different series. And
Okay.
do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? And it's a
You can
return of good
start.
vibes, bad vibes, guys. It's been a
Yeah.
while. It's been quite some time.
For real.
You want me to go first?
Yeah. You can start.
Okay. A good friend in Utah, Quinn Snyder. Yeah. Do we even viewer
That
discretion
fucking
advised for
menace.
this part of
Yo,
podcast for
seriously,
this league?
bro.
Jay, I looked that stuff up though, and I
Is that
really
shit
couldn't
real?
find much evidence. It's just saw I just saw a bunch of
Really?
people in a Twitter feed like confirming it. But I
But
looked it
hey,
up and
maybe
nothing
that's
popped
all the
up.
evidence we need. You know, sometimes Twitter
Yeah,
they got
that's
the
how
real
that goes,
facts.
right?
I don't know. I mean, that story was fucking nuts. Okay, all
Do
right,
you want to?
tell the people
Okay.
real quick. Maybe I should. Okay, I'll answer the question that I do want you to share that story.
Okay.
Snyder, right now, I will say.
I had great vibes for him once upon a time.
I think I did too. I mean, Utah used to win a lot
Right.
of games,
Utah versus
but then
OKC.
the
Mitchell's
playoffs,
coming
right?
out
That's.
party.
Mhm. I have to say, I won't say bad vibes. Damn, I know I got to give an answer, good or bad. I would say I'm leaning towards more so bad vibes just because of what's going on with them right
Yeah.
now,
It's a
but
sick
not
man.
terrible vibes because he also is a sick man, which you'll enlighten us on
Allegedly.
that.
Allegedly.
But uh, I don't know. I feel as if he does not have a lot to work with that Utah roster, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pin it all on him. At the same time, it did take him a while to
Right.
adjust and play small. And
I just hate the way they play.
yeah, they're not a
It's
fun team
they
to
just
watch.
whip
But
it
that
around the
roster,
perimeter.
yeah, no, I'm hip. It's not a fun. It's not a fun product, but he doesn't have too much to work with.
The
Mitchell has his
personalities
own
and everything on
agenda.
that team, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, everyone has their own agenda on that team, bro. They're so ready to blow up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll say kind of bad vibes for Snyder, but could be worse,
Could be
especially
worse,
if the
yeah.
stories are
I
true.
mean, like, in this Twitter feed, let me see if I can find it. We are short for
The actual
time.
thread,
But basically, like, people are saying that
dude,
the
part of me
dude's like a.
believes it, bro. I'm not
But
gonna
I don't.
lie.
No, hold on. Let me find this feed before I say anything, because this is like, people listen to this.
Dude, we
And I don't
want to
want to,
get the
like,
facts.
slander. I don't want to have to, like, go back on what we said.
Sorry, Quinn. Character assassination.
Right.
And
Okay,
I'm not gonna
okay.
lie
So
though,
this is the
I
thing, because
that shit's true, bro.
it's
He
him
looks like a
sweating on the bench.
fucking
He looks
nut.
like Quinn Snyder looks like the last 30 minutes of Goodfellas.
All right, here we go.
Okay, here we go. When he was forced to resign from Mizzou, he allegedly interviewed at my school when I was a student. My roommate was on the team, and the rumors they heard about his resignation can't be repeated in decent society. But we're gonna say it on this podcast. Don't worry, this isn't decent society here. But let's just say they make sense for his appearance all too well. And then
Oh
some guy
man.
responds, "Let me be blunt. He was a cokehead who banged a play." I can't talk about. Can we do this on the pod?
You think are we gonna get some backlash? Think Twitter Utah might come at us. I
I
mean,
don't want to. I
I'll
don't. Yeah, I don't.
all I'm gonna say is, bro, that guy looks like
Let's.
he be
It,
wired during those games, man.
this is all hearsay, but this is a bunch of people who don't know each other. Like really like very distinct
Yeah,
facts
it's
they're
really
talking about.
specific, bro. That's what I'm
If you want
saying. Like,
if you want to talk about Quinn Snyder with me or Jay,
subscribe to our OnlyFans.
yeah, listen to our X-rated version of the pod. No, you just hit us up or ask me in everyday life, and we can talk about it. But like, I don't want to do him dirty on this pod, just in
Yeah,
case it's
that's
not true.
fair.
But it's
Because
like,
yeah, you're right. There is a chance it could be. It's just cat, but
yeah.
it's
But
so specific,
all right.
bro.
So, do you want to go with your good vibes, bad vibes?
All right, yeah, I'll go. All right, so here. All right, my first one, Reggie Miller. Good
Good vibes. I'm
vibes
a
or
Reggie
bad
guy.
vibes?
I've
Good
always felt
vibes.
like some
I like
people
that.
shit on his commentary. I've always liked him.
Which I
I've
don't
always
get.
thought he was a pretty good analyst too. Like, is he Romo? No, but he like I always loved him at All Star Weekend. Like the way
Mhm.
he talks about, oh, he's going through this too. That he's how I learned the word nonchalant from Reggie Miller because he said it like 8 times during a skills competition when I was like 12. Uh, so
That's
I
funny.
like Reggie Miller. I think he's funny. I think he can poke fun at himself.
Mhm.
I think he keeps it lighthearted. He's not boring. And yeah, I'm a fan. And his documentary, that 30 for 30 winning time versus the Knicks,
Oh,
that's one of the best
so
30 for
good.
30s. And it's one of the first ones too. But yeah, good
Mhm.
vibes for Reggie Miller.
Nice.
Give you my next one. Carl Anthony Towns.
Ah, this guy.
He's been
Bro,
balling.
I mean, I can't say good vibes for Cat. I know
Uh,
he's actually played well the past 2 games, but man, this guy, bro. He'll make one good move and then he's screaming at the top of his lungs to
yeah,
everyone in the arena, telling
yeah.
everyone like witness greatness pretty much. And then he'll have some of the most boneheaded foul game. Like the dude, his lack of awareness when it comes to fouls is actually scary. Like that shit is bro. He does not know how to control himself. Him and Jaren Jackson. I said this on the
I
pod
was gonna
with
say
T.
who's
Like
worse, him or JJJ?
I said this, like that's the foul war between those two is it might decide this series because JJJ he definitely can't help himself. But Cat is just it's that type of inconsistent play, but then it's the theatrics with him. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, we in Minnesota now, and then he only scores
right.
8 points.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and then there's even times like you just see him like he be doing way too much. Like I can't tell you how much times in this Memphis series where there was a miss and a chance to get the rebound for the Timberwolves, and Cat is going up with another guy, and they lose the possession, and it's a turnover because
Mm-hmm.
he bumped into Vanderbilt or fucking
At the
Anthony
worst
Edwards.
moments. It's
Like,
just bad
bro, at
energy. I
least
feel
three
you.
occasions. Yeah, he's
Super talented guy
always
though. Super talented
really
guy.
talented guy, but
Not just talented, like he's come through in moments in this series.
he's
Like I
no
want to
the
give him
past
credit where
two
credit is
games,
due. Yeah.
he's been
Even
really
the other
good,
night they lost, but he was really good.
but like I could just see if this goes to game 7.
Could
I
be
will
ugly.
not be shocked if he has 2 points through 3 quarters and he has 4 fouls. And he's kissing Jordan Woods at the end. I don't know, bro. Like, it's not good vibes for me right now for Cat. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Bad
All right,
vibes for
it's my
Cat.
turn. All right. Damn, I guess we kind of talked about him, but can never give enough love to Celtics on this pod. Grant Williams.
Good vibes.
Mhm.
That was a gimme.
I know,
I
I
loved.
know.
Yeah. Again, like he's fearless. This whole team is fearless, and he's sort of undersized for his position, but he's out there guarding the best in the game.
Mm,
And he's developed a really nice jump shot, and it's been reliable. It's like that's an
yeah.
extra. That's just an extra weight off of the superstar's shoulder.
Right.
When you have a guy who can actually knock down a shot. He's kind of turned into what I really wanted the Celtics to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we were always, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted that shooter, and he's kind of it. So yeah, good vibes for Grant Williams.
I like it.
My last one for you is Trey Young.
It's a good one. I mean, wasn't great. It was not great in that Miami series. I know Miami's not the ideal matchup for Trey because they just had all the size and they were switching everything and they basically had him in for 4.5 games. But I mean, there was a lot of times where Trey also just decided, and to his defense, the team around him is not great. I don't even know who's the next All Star. Maybe Bogey, but Bogey's not an All Star. He's the closest
Right.
player to an All Star. John Collins, that guy is just a goof. DeAndre Hunter, I'm so mad. Now I'm doing a Hawks thing, and you just asked me about Trey Young. But DeAndre, I'm so mad, bro. The DeAndre Hunter moment was gonna happen last night,
Yeah.
and then the fucking refs fouled him out. It was gonna happen, Gabe. I swear to God.
I'm
But
happy that happened, honestly, because Jay, I texted you the other day. You know, like the Hawks just scare me for some reason,
yeah, you did say that.
and I'm happy they're out.
Yeah. But Trey, man, he didn't trust his teammates at the same on the same token, and he played really bad. So that was a rough
Yeah.
series for him. I can't say it's good vibes right
Yeah,
now,
I
but
agree.
I do want to see some better players around him too. So I'm not gonna kill him. Kill him.
Hmm.
All right. So this is my third and final guy, Brandon Ingram.
I'm so happy you brought him up because I had him written. I did a like who I was wrong about. I wrote some guys now who I'm wrong about, and one was Tatum,
Mhm.
and the other was Ingram.
Okay.
He's flourished without Zion being there, and like just
It's
like finally
amazing.
having a legitimate team to be the centerpiece on. Like he's risen to the occasion. He's balled out.
Yeah.
Maybe it will be for this series, but like I said, that coach has instilled confidence into that entire team. The Pelicans
Yes.
have been awesome. You've become a fan. I'm sort of on the fence.
Oh
I would
yeah.
feel really bad for I would feel really bad for Phoenix if they lost the series after just
Yeah.
playing so well all year. But Paul's been he's done some fuckery. He's been on his
Yeah.
fuckery too. So it's like it's hard to root
We've
for you
seen
when you're
it.
on your fuckery.
I
Uh,
love how the rookies are like, yo,
they don't
fuck,
give a fuck.
fuck
Yeah,
you,
Herb
Chris Paul.
Herb
We're not
doesn't care.
scared. Yeah.
Alvarado doesn't care.
Love Herb Jones, bro.
Right.
Love Herb.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
it
Ingram's
starts
just he's
with
been a great
BI. So
playmaker.
yeah.
He's knocked down shots. I had watched him miss his whole
Yeah.
career. And I
Hmm.
always thought he was very overrated. I called him a hood favorite, like all the like I don't know. Dudes,
Yeah.
dudes at the court,
No
dudes
limit
pick up
gang.
games, like dudes love Brandon Ingram, for some reason, just like they love a Kyrie Irving or back in the day it was like a John Wall, I don't know. Uh the Jamal Crawfords. Like just dudes who are like, yeah, they're
Yeah.
nice, but they're not winning players.
Right.
Ingram has really balled out.
Yeah, he's changed
And
that
he's
narrative for
really
sure.
trying, and he looks energized. He looks like he has energy out there and good vibes. And I apologize to Brandon Ingram at this point in time. I
Yeah.
do. So good vibes for Brandon Ingram.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, with Ingram, like he like because I'm with you. I was a little bit low on him too, but the way he's risen to this like leadership role almost too. Like the guys
Right.
kind of look to him down the stretches, him and CJ, but you can even see CJ deferring to him like, yo, BI, this is your time. And they didn't win last night, but he's been great all series. Honestly, if you ask me, he's been the best player of that series. And
I agree.
yeah, man, good to give BI some love.
I
All right,
agree.
now would you like to introduce us to this new
Yes.
segment?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
All I've
excited
written
for this
down
because I
right
don't
here
know
is
what the
walk
hell it
into the
is.
ocean question mark. Before we get into that, and I know I'm a scatterbrain, I forgot to mention this during the Celtics talk. That
Yeah.
series just now was my favorite series since them winning the championship in 2008. That's the most happy I've been with the Celtics series since. The most
Yeah.
hype I've gotten. The most proud I've been. Uh,
That's the
that
best they've looked, the most dominant they've
yeah,
looked in a
right.
while.
Yeah, even like after yeah. Uh yeah, is it time to walk into the ocean? So, if this happens, if this scenario was to happen to this player or coach or individual, should they
Yeah.
just give up on life, give up on their career, and just walk into the ocean? Can you come back, or can you
I
come
love
back from
this.
this? Can you bounce
Okay,
back from this?
okay.
Okay, and you could probably guess a few of the guys that I'm gonna mention right now. Uh, I
All right.
have I have one that's probably obvious and some that like you might be on the fence on. And here's my first one.
Mm-hmm.
If the Sixers blow a 3-0 lead, becoming the first team ever to do so, Is
Oh
it
my
and
god.
with his history on like different teams coaching three different teams blowing a 3-1 lead.
Yeah.
He's historically known for that. Will it be time? Can Doc Rivers coach again, or is it time for him to just walk into the ocean and never come back? Just walk until it's above his head.
If he blows 3-0, that's it. That bro, you have to just go swim the sharks at that point.
So is that like
That
he'd
bro,
retire on
3-0
that?
against
He would
yeah, you have to,
retire.
bro.
What a way to
There's
retire.
you think oh my god. And you know what's crazy? This is a realistic scenario. This actually might happen, bro. Like, I
They're
can't
walking
believe
into
Philly's
the
out
ocean, or
there.
them blowing the lead.
All the above, all of
All
it,
the
all
above.
of it. Harden
Dude, I
joining
agree.
him.
It's 3-2 now. Do
Uh,
they play tonight?
no, they play tomorrow
That's gonna
night.
be
Thankfully,
interesting.
it's gonna be a good one. But bro, it's 3-2. Not only that, this is a Toronto team game. Lost Scotty Barnes game one. I know he's back, but he's not really the same guy. Van Fleet is out. It's Siakam.
It's crazy. It's just like it's
It's basically
literally
Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, and Thaddeus Young
Precious.
just killing the fucking 76ers right now.
And it's
Precious,
yeah.
bro, it's unbelievable.
It's like whoever they would be against right now, they'd be struggling with. It's like whoever we put
Yeah,
in front of the Sixers, they are just not going to close it out. I will say the Raptors have always
can't
been
believe
feisty,
this.
regardless of
That's
who's
true.
on the team. In the
They
post
always play
Kawhi
hard.
era, at least post like in this Van Fleet era is what I call Siakam era. That's what I'll call it.
Yeah, Siakam,
They've
Van Fleet,
always been a
OG.
feisty team. We even saw them give the Celtics problems like a month ago. But yeah, so it'll be time for Doc to walk into the ocean.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
I agree. I agree. But the next guy, Embiid.
uh it shouldn't he should not because I feel so bad for him in this series, man. I mean, the dude he's playing on a torn ligament in his thumb,
Yeah.
which they immediately said requires surgery, shouldn't be playing on it, but of course he's not gonna just sit out, take notes, Ben Simmons. I feel so bad for Embiid, bro. This sucks.
It does.
This really sucks because Harden is a disaster. We knew it was coming, but it still came, and people are shocked. Doc is your coach. Maxi's kind of come back to earth a little bit. I mean, bro, he's relying on
Daryl's
Danny
your
Green
GM.
and Gorey. Yeah, and then you have that fucking.
You're stuck with Harden for life if you want to stay in Philly.
You know what Daryl Morey reminds me of?
You-
You know, remember that episode of SpongeBob when Patrick? This probably makes no sense, bro. But he just reminds me of him when Patrick fell down some fucking mountain in SpongeBob, and then he like fell a brain mine, and he just had a brain, and he was better than everyone. That's what Daryl Morey reminds me of, bro. He's Patrick.
I remember
he's
that
Patrick
episode
in
like
episode
once.
to
That's
me.
like a newer episode.
Yeah.
Right? By newer, I mean
Yeah,
like
I think so.
SpongeBob's in its prime from 99 to
2010s.
2004. Yeah, 2010s. Forget about
Yeah.
it. I might have saw it.
You probably seen it at least once.
Right. It sounds familiar. Like when he was smart. Yeah. Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
that's Daryl Morey to me, bro. So, but to bring it back to your question, Embiid, nah, don't walk into the
Not
ocean,
just yet.
man. There's better
Not
days
just
ahead.
yet.
Maybe there's not better days ahead, but it's not your fault. I'll say
Right.
that. It's
Right.
not your fault.
Okay, this last one.
Okay.
I'll save
this
some
is
for next
fun.
time. I could save some for next time. This
All
last
right.
one, Chris Paul. If they don't get out of this first round, and he
Yeah.
just has like nightmares for the rest of his life about Alvarado guarding him and causing these 8-second violations and Herb Jones bitching
Yeah.
him and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
is it time for Chris Paul to just give up on winning a ring and walk into the ocean until the water's above his head?
When you frame it like that, yes, bro, it is time. Because if they lose this specific series,
But Booker,
it's
no
like,
Booker,
all right,
you know, no
yeah,
Booker.
no Booker. He's 37. You saw him at the end of the first half last game. This dude's just literally gasping for air, bro.
Yeah, he's getting up there, man. I don't care how well you take care
Alvarado and Herb Jones. Yeah, he's just these 20-year-olds are just they're hunting him down on both sides. So I won't pin this series on him if he loses.
of your right.
But big picture, bro, Abe, like you were up 2-0 last year. You blew it. There's countless stories of him on the Clippers of him blowing it.
Yes.
This year, you come back, you have the best team by far the best team in the league. We all had them penciled into the finals coming out the West.
Right. No,
and
they'll be one of the
they're staring at a
only
game
one
six
teams,
in New
one seeds ever.
Orleans.
They
Yeah,
might be one of
bro.
the only one
He,
seeds ever
he's
to lose
so
it.
unlucky, bro. Like that
Yeah,
Booker
it didn't work
injury to
out in
have a
Houston.
bro. Houston, yes, Houston. Another. I forgot about Houston. Like
Yeah,
the hamstring, game 7 or game
that's unlucky.
6.
And then Game 6, Steph just cuts the next year. Game 6,
Yeah,
6, Steph just cuts him and Harden's heads off by himself in the second
it's like
half
the
of the game.
perfect blend of unlucky and choking at the
It's a
same time.
tragedy. It's a tragedy.
Yeah, it
His
really
career is a
is.
tragedy.
It
Uh,
really is.
poor Vasillo. Um,
He's so
yeah,
sick.
I'll see you. I'll see you
You
at the
got to walk into the ocean.
right. I'll see you at the Smoothie King Center.
Oh yeah.
It's a
Game
silly
6. That
name.
place is gonna
It's
be
such a silly
nuts,
name.
bro.
The Smoothie King Center is gonna be rocking in New
Yeah, there's a
Orleans.
funny thing. Oh man. So yeah, CP3, if you blow this series, bro, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but you just gotta off yourself at that point, man. But yeah, so is that it? Is that all the guys for this week?
that's all I have this week, man.
Oh, okay. That was
Anything
great.
else, Jay? Anything else today? I mean, we left some meat on the bone.
Yeah, there's still some series. I know we didn't do Golden State and Denver because these series are not done yet. I think when we come back next
Right.
time,
We'll do
we'll
sort of
we'll,
like a
we'll
looking
cap it
back on it.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so try to leave some meat on the bone for you guys for next episode.
I
This was
will
a
say
great episode, Gabe.
Clay looks really good.
Clay looks good.
Watch out for the
Poole
Warriors.
is Poole is a maniac. Curry's the greatest six man of all time. Yeah, watch out for the Dubs. I mean, this was a great episode, Gabe. We spent an hour on the Celtics and it was all positive. How
Yes.
rare is that?
It's not, like I said, we've never been pumping our chest on the pod like this. We're pretty
Never.
level-headed when it comes to our
Yeah,
teams.
for sure.
Uh,
We've been broken so many times, man.
right. But I feel good, and I'm willing to put that
Same
out
here.
into the public and speak it into existence and put it out there in the universe, as like hippies like to say. Uh,
Peace
yeah.
and love, guys.
Peace and love. Peace and love. Um, that will wrap up today's episode. I believe this is episode 49. So when we return, it'll be our 50th episode.
Ooh,
We're
amazing.
approaching May 24th. Mark that down on
Mhm.
your calendar. That is the 1 year. That'll be our 1 year anniversary of the Richie and Mecco connection. I remember our. I mean, we'll talk more about it.
Yeah.
When the time comes. But yeah, it feels like just yesterday we were talking about Trey Young beating the Knicks in New York. I think it was game 1 of the Eastern Conference first round.
The
In New
fuck
York
Trey
City.
Young chance.
Right, in New York, like they want that team. That city deserves a good basketball team. It sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
They
That
get
fan
so
base
excited over the
is
littlest
crazy.
things. They're just
Literally,
chomping at the
bro.
bit for something, man.
Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett has a good game, and that's heaven for them right now.
Right.
But yeah.
But yeah, man. Follow us on TikTok. Jay's got it rolling over there. Follow us on Instagram. Richie and Mecco Connection. Richie and Mecco Experience on TikTok and YouTube. Join the Facebook group, Richie and Mecco Connection. And enjoy the rest of your week. Have a good night, guys.